Welcome to the Owatonna Today Show. My name is Betty Johnson. I will be your host today, which is Friday, November 1st, TGIF. And as always on Friday, we do want to thank our great sponsors who make this show possible. Beginning with our premier sponsors, they include the City of Owatonna, along with Express Employment Professionals, Mayo Clinic Health System of Owatonna, Owatonna Public Utilities, Safe and Drug-Free Coalition of Steele County, and United Way of Steele County. Our primary supporters are Amy Swain Hearing Centers, Little Theater of Owatonna, Owatonna Care Center, Steele County Environmental Services. And our interlude supporters are Abraham Consulting Technologies, A+ Sew and Back, Glenn Megger and Tim Thomas of the Brick Megger Funeral Home and Medford Funeral Home, Brookdale Senior Living, Sterling House, and CareBridge of Owatonna, along with Carlson Branstad and Company, CPAs, ERA Gillespie Real Estate, Fairview Animal Medical Center, Horizon Eye Care Professionals. Also, more of our interlude supporters are Clancher & Son Landscaping and Concrete, Napa Auto Service, Owatonna Business Incubator, Pista Ranch of Owatonna, Perfinium Financial, R&K Electric, Snap Fitness, Steele County Blades Junior Hockey, Steele County Historical Society, the Third Hand Incorporated Video Productions, and TPS Insurance. We do have some more candidates on our show today, starting with Allen Quist, who is running for a congressional seat in Washington from the 1st District, and two more members that are running for the school board. We'll be back with these gentlemen right after this.
I'm Dan Branstad of Carlson Branstad and Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Hi, this is Laura Ressler greeting you from the Steele County Historical Society's History Center, where we're honoring the past and looking towards the future. We're proud to be a sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
We are back. Our first guest on this Friday is Allen Quist, who is running for the 1st District congressional seat. Thank you for joining us today, Allen.
Well, Betty, thank you for having me on your show.
And we are anxious to find out all about you. First of all, tell us briefly where you're from and about your family and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I won't say a lot about my family because it would take too long. I have 10 children and just had the 40th grandchild. So I'm not going to give you the names of my grandkids, or that would shoot all our time.
I do appreciate that, yes.
But I run a farm near St. Peter, and I began my career as a teacher at Bethany College in Mankato, technically a professor, but I like the name teacher. It's not quite as stuffy. And I was recruited to run for the legislature in the 80s, served 3 terms there, and then I've been state chair for 3 presidential campaigns. So I've done a lot behind the scenes. I've been very active. And a couple of years ago, became very concerned about the direction of our country, and that's why I'm here.
Okay, good. So that was going to be my next question.
Okay.
Why are you running for this seat?
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with the fact that I've got 10 children and 40 grandchildren. I've lived the American dream, and I would like my kids and my grandkids to have the same opportunity that I have had, and I think it's quite evident that those opportunities are slipping away, and I would like to see those restored.
Okay, and you've briefly told us what you have done and how you got to this point. So, in all those years of your experience, what do you bring to the position? What do you feel that your life experiences has taught you that will enhance your position?
Okay, well, Betty, very, very good question. Let me mention 2 things. One, I was in the legislature in the 80s, and I was chief author of a number of very important bills. One of them took a state department, it was called Economic Security, it was kind of a welfare department, transformed it into the Department of Jobs and Training. And our thinking was, instead of just giving people money, let's equip them with skills so they can be gainfully employed. And I'm sure there are many thousands of Minnesotans who are working today because of that very important bill. I worked very closely with Governor Rudy Perpich, and so you had a conservative Republican working with a Democrat. And by the way, Governor Perpich became a very close friend of mine. But we had the same objectives on training people, and we were able to pass a very, very good bill. And it really changed the whole direction of state government. I was also chief author of the non-smoking bill, and the non-smoking program in the schools is my bill. I was chief author of the bill that legalized homeschooling, which we see as a basic right.
Okay.
And I was the person behind the move to get rid of the education program known as the Profile of Learning, which I saw as very destructive. Worked on that 5 years, and the legislature after 5 years agreed with me. Education Minnesota after 4 years agreed with me.
Take
And
time.
so, yeah, but it was very bipartisan, and was a huge improvement for the schools to not have that bureaucratic morass, which, believe it or not, had bureaucrats writing the lesson plans for teachers. And as a teacher, I saw that as just totally unworkable. So I've had a lot of impact in what I've done, but I also make my living in the private sector. So I know what a balance sheet is, I know what profits are, I know what losses are, and I bring a lot of expertise in terms of management, which I think is desperately needed in Congress today.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get any arguments
No,
on that.
no.
So what do you think are the main challenges? I mean, there's a lot of them, but what would you say are the 2 to 3 main challenges that you would face?
Yeah, well, I think
And what would you do,
Yeah.
to solve those?
Yeah, well, I think the number one challenge is the out-of-control debt, adding $1 trillion each year. And Betty, I often say this is a banana republic type of management. I mean, this is absolutely insane to be doing this. And just to illustrate how damaging this is, within 2 years, 25 cents out of every dollar the feds bring in is going to go for interest. And that's at bargain basement interest rates. Congressional Budget Office says these rates are going to start going up. And this reflects, I would say, extraordinary mismanagement on the part of Congress. So I believe balancing the budget is issue number one. And to do that, we need to do 2 things. We need to take the shackles off of free enterprise, especially small business, so we can get that rolling. But we have to make some reductions in spending. I mean, we can't spend money we don't have. So in a nutshell, that's where it's at.
And how would you propose to go about doing that?
Okay, the first thing I would do, let me take the spending side first.
Okay.
Right now, Congress takes each bill by itself in isolation. You can't do that if you're a good manager, and Congress needs to set a limit. This is how much we can spend in 2013, and 2014 has to be less. But you have to set an overall limit, then you have to prioritize. And we can have a lot of discussion on what's more important and what's less important, but we have to set that limit. The other thing is that we have put a lot of impediments that make it difficult for small business to expand. And according to a survey that was on the U.S. Chamber website a couple of weeks ago, small businesses say the biggest factor in preventing them from expanding, adding jobs, is the Affordable Care Act, which I call the Unaffordable Care Act.
Unaffordable.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
But they say this is barrier number one. Other things are all the regulations, EPA regulations. The debt is a huge issue, because businesses say, if I'm going to go out there with an expansion, and if the economy of the country is uncertain, I put myself at risk, I'm not going to do it. Okay. So free enterprise is like a lion. You have to let it out of its cage. And so I often say we have to unleash the lion of free enterprise. So we have to approach it from both angles, reducing the spending, increasing the income by getting free enterprise going, and then we can balance the budget.
So that's number one, is balance.
That is really number one. And to me, that's number 1, 2, and 3.
Two and three.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what would you say is number 4?
Well, I would say that there are a lot of things that are number 4, but I mentioned the Affordable Care Act, and one of the things I object to very much is there is an extraordinary marriage penalty in this new law. By the way, I'm the guy that 2.5 years ago discovered this, and I tried to get the people in Washington to see it, and they couldn't imagine that somebody in flyover country could see something they didn't see. But in a nutshell, a couple making $60,000 equally divided will pay, private insurance, under the Affordable Care Act, will pay $10,425 more each year for their health insurance just because they're married. And so the law has almost unbelievable discrimination against married people. So married people have three choices. They can sit back and pay this huge hidden tax, which they can't afford, or they can divorce and live together, or they can drop their health insurance. Three choices, all bad. And I say that makes for bad government.
Okay, so well, that definitely is up there too as a big important issue. But now we're running out of time, and we want to give you the opportunity to tell our viewers why they should vote for you.
Well, you know, if we want to balance the budget, which I think most people agree with, my competition simply is not on the same page with me. He says we have to spend more, which I call fantasy. I say we have to spend less. He supports the Affordable Care Act, which is the #1 impediment to business expansion. I believe we have to repeal it and start over. So it's a whole matter of direction. I am a limited government. We have to take the shackles off a free enterprise guy. He wants more government intervention. So it's a pretty big contrast, and I'm convinced, of course, that I'm right. And I think the voters will be too.
Well, we do appreciate you coming today. I know you're a very busy man, very busy schedule. We're glad you took time out of your busy schedule to stop by and tell the viewers exactly what, why they should vote for you. I appreciate that. And best of luck.
Betty, thank you for having me on, and I appreciate the kind of conversation we've had here. I think it's very constructive.
Is this the first time you've been in Owatonna?
First time I've been in this building,
Oh, okay.
but I've been in Owatonna a million times.
Oh, okay, good. I want to make sure you are acquainted with the city as well.
I hate to say it, but I can't go through Owatonna without stopping at the McDonald's. I just love McDonald's hamburgers. And Cabela's is kind of top on my list, being a sportsman, and I just put my deer stand up yesterday. And so Cabela's Owatonna is dear to my heart.
Well, that's nice to hear. Thank you once again. We're going to take this break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking with some gentlemen running for the school board.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, Ann Plaskanko here from Senior Place. Senior Place has new hours. Mondays and Fridays we're open 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Participate in Zumba Gold, Bike Club, table tennis, computer classes, speakers, and much more. Don't forget the Senior Place Partnership Program with 39 businesses giving discounts and incentives with your Senior Place membership card. Membership is only $35 for the year, which comes to just $3 a month to be a member. Consider joining us today.
Effective Monday, October 15th, the clinic main entrance will be closed for construction. Please use our temporary entrance, the dialysis doors, and/or the hospital main entrance. We appreciate your patience during our construction, but at the end, we'll have a pleasant entrance that is larger, warmer, and safe for our patients. Again, starting Monday, October 15th, the clinic main entrance will be closed for construction. Thank you.
Do you know how to safely dispose of your expired or unused prescription and non-prescription medications? Not by flushing them down the toilet or putting them in the garbage. Doing so pollutes our rivers, streams, and drinking water supply. Take it to the box instead for safe, secure disposal. It's easy. Bring your unused medications in their original containers to the drop-off locations listed on the screen and drop them in the Take It to the Box drop box. Proper disposal of unwanted medications keeps them out of the hands of children and out of our environment. This is a message from the Safe and Drug-Free Coalition of Steele County.
Hi, I'm Glenn Mager.
And I'm Tim Thomas of the Brick Mager Funeral Home, and we're proud to serve the Medford and Owatonna areas with cremation and traditional funeral services.
And we're proud to be a part of the Owatonna Today Show.
We are back, and our guests now are Bill Wall and Mark Sebring, and they are running for the 2-year term. Is that right? That's
right.
Hi, I'm Amy Martinez.
Owatonna, and we're going to ask them some questions as well, so hopefully we can help the voters discern whom they would like to vote for. So let's start with you first, Bill. Just briefly tell us about yourself, your work, your family, and things like that in general.
Sure. I work at Federated Insurance. I've worked for Federated for 13 years, been in Owatonna for about 7 years. I have a wife and a child. My daughter is an 8th grader over at the Owatonna school system. And one of the reasons why we decided to come to Owatonna when I had the opportunity given to me was because we knew we had really good school systems. Our daughter is, the main reason for everything that we do. And we were not going to go someplace where she could not get a good education. So we looked into the system before we moved here, and of course we know a lot of people in town through the years, and we knew what kind of a quality education she can get here, and so that is very important to us.
Oh, very good. Okay. Then Mark, a little biography.
My brief history. I'm from Owatonna. I grew up here in Owatonna, and I'm a product of the Owatonna school system, and I graduated from OHS. I attended the University of Minnesota, and I met my wife Barb there. We have 2 sons, Brian and Mike. Both of our boys are in college at this time. I work in the financial services industry. I'm a member of Trinity Lutheran Church and pretty active in town.
Okay, I'm sure there's lots of people who are probably very familiar with you when you're very active. Okay, so the main question is, why do you want to run for the school board? I'll start with you, Mark.
I want to run for the school district simply because I think that we have an obligation in town to give back to our community. I've been well treated, well served by the school district, and I had a good education. My 2 sons have a great education as well. And I think that it takes effort on the part of the community to maintain the integrity of institutions like our school district. And I have the time, I have the energy and the interest to give back.
Very good. And you, Bill? Why do you want to be on the school board?
Well, I think Owatonna is a great town, and I think that the basis of keeping Owatonna great is to have an educational system that can provide the kind of people that will work in the city, and in order to do that, we need to have a strong educational background for people who are going to go on to college, and for people who maybe are not interested in college but vocational, VOTEC type of schools. So we need to have a great educational system so that all of our employers have good people to select from. And I've been committed to education from an early age. My mother was a school teacher, and she really drummed into us the fact that an education is your ticket to success in life. So it's very important that for the success and the future growth of Owatonna, that we have a good school system. Owatonna, we've only been residents here for 7 years, but we're committed to it. This is where we're going to stay. And we like to participate in various community activities. And we just think that it's our opportunity to give back to to a system that has given us a lot.
Okay. And what life experiences do you feel that you have had along the way that would help you with the school board position?
I've had a variety of diverse life experiences. I grew up in South Dakota, a small community very much like Owatonna, so I understand even before I got here a little bit about the community size and the struggles and the challenges you have. I've worked in management positions for the last 25 out of my 32 years working in the claims industry, and as part of the management process, you have to research and analyze situations, you have to make decisions, you have to execute it. Okay. I'm very good at deciding what the issues are, communicating to the people, understanding what challenges are, understanding what other people's perspectives are, and ability to move forward and make those decisions and implementing them.
Okay, very good. And Mark, what about you? What are your life experiences that you bring to the table, so to speak?
Thanks, Betty. My life experiences would be that my vocation, which is the financial services industry, really helps me to understand, not unlike Bill, the balance sheet and managing the financial affairs of an organization. And in addition to that, having served on quite a number of boards and volunteer activities at Trinity Lutheran Church. It's a big church here in Owatonna, and in many respects, the responsibilities with a large congregation like that lend themselves well. I have served on a facilities task force for the Owatonna School District, and so I feel like I have a pretty good sense of the different facility issues that are going on here with the school district. And I presently do serve on the School District Foundation, the 761 Foundation. So it offers also some insight as to the goings-on of the Owatonna School District.
And what do you feel are probably the two main issues facing the school board, and how would you prepare to solve those concerns?
I think that the two big issues that the school district faces today, first and foremost, will be the replacement for the new superintendent, and I do think that we need a top-notch superintendent that fits well with Owatonna and fits in with the needs for our community. And the second is going to be the budget, and it's reasonable to think that in the foreseeable future we have probably a tightening budget to deal with, and it's time to lay the groundwork for a budget that is not a reactive but rather a proactive budget, taking that into consideration.
Very good. Bill, what about you? What do you see as the two major issues?
Well, they happen to be the same as Mark's. I think that's pretty universally accepted. We need to have a strong superintendent who can provide the leadership and communication with the community that we need and who can manage the process effectively. A good superintendent is also going to be someone who can manage the budget effectively. And we do have some shortfalls in the budget. We have some real major challenges coming forward. We're going to have to make some cuts of some sort someplace because we're not going to get more revenue, it doesn't sound like. And so we need to make good decisions about what challenges how to address the challenges. Everything has to be on the table except the core academic standards for the school system, but we have to make sure if we have to make cuts, we cover them across all bases and not just focus on one particular area.
Okay, all right. So with the couple of minutes we have left, I want to ask each of you, why should we vote for you?
We should vote for me because I have a strong commitment to the city of Owatonna. I've got a lot of experience and knowledge in interacting with people, communication, making decisions, making difficult decisions, and unfortunately we're going to have some very difficult decisions to make. I'm also very experienced and knowledgeable in hiring people, so I'd be very good in the interview process with the superintendent replacement.
Okay, very good. And your turn, Mark.
Oh, thanks, Betty.
Why should we vote for you?
I'd like people to vote for me on the basis that as an Owatonna resident, having grown up here and graduated from the school system and having kids that came through the system as well, I do have a profound desire to give back to my community, and I have the interest and the desire to serve the community. I have the time and the energy to be able to give back to the community. I'm very, very proud of Owatonna, and I believe strongly that the economic ties that Owatonna has to the school district and the fabric that it is a part of here in Owatonna are very, very important, and I want to ensure that we strengthen that.
Very good, very good. Mark Sebring and Bill Wall, who are candidates running for the 2-year term on the school board. Gentlemen, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules. I know you have jobs to get back to, so we do appreciate you stopping by and giving us a hearing on everything that you hopefully got a chance to say what you wanted to say on the Owatonna Today Show.
I believe we did.
So,
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Betty.
and we're going to take this break and we'll come back. We have a few announcements.
Hi, I'm Amy Martinez.
And I'm Adam Martinez, owners of Snap Fitness in Owatonna.
Snap Fitness is a fast, convenient, and affordable fitness center, and we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Here at the Owatonna Care Center, we strive to create an atmosphere of community and family. We have many family members who are highly involved in the care of their loved ones and the activities and events that are put on at the facility. There are many opportunities each month for families and residents to gather together for meals and various activities. We feel that it's important to make our residents feel like they are at home, whether they reside here long-term or they're here visiting for a short stay. We welcome community members to stop in at any time to be part of our community.
Hello, I'm Sean McNulty with Brookdale Senior Living, Sterling House in Clarebridge, and we're a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
In 2011, United Way funded programs provided services to over 10,000 Owatonna residents. For the second consecutive year, the vast majority needed help to meet their most basic needs: food, clothing, housing, and safety. United Way of Steele County is able to sustain a safety net of direct services, prepare our children for the future, and provide seniors with support to age in place due to the generosity of our community. Please make a donation to United Way again this year. Our neighbors are counting on us, and we are counting on you.
We are back, and we do want to remind you, this being Friday, November 1st, coming up on Sunday, it's time to fall back. That's right, we want to turn our clocks back as daylight savings time will be coming to an end. So when you go to bed Saturday night, turn your clocks back, and you won't be, well, hopefully you'll be on time for church. So we do want to mention it's the second day today for pastimes at the Owatonna Arts Center. It'll be from running until 7 p.m. tonight, and then again tomorrow on the 3rd from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. It's all in the Grand Hall, and you can enjoy some wonderful homemade soup as well as their great artistic creations. And absentee ballots are available for the election at the auditor's office. Tomorrow on Saturday, November 3rd, the office is open from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. And also, the Arts Center is looking for anybody who has been a part of the service. They're looking for photos, letters, and mementos of Christmas while in the service. They ask that you bring these pieces to the Arts Center by November 15th. They're also looking for toys of the period, such as Candyland and Slinky, Silly Putty, Scrabble, Cootie, all those fun games. Also coming up, the Steele County History Center presents Minnesota Homefront. And that is an exhibit that will be on from now through March 10th. It highlights Minnesota life during World War II. Sounds very interesting. Tickets are $5 for adults. Children are $3 and 7 to 16, and they're closed on Monday. Also, we want to remind you that the Steele County Blades home games, they've got one coming up tonight and then again tomorrow. And the community craft sales taking place coming up tomorrow. Busy time throughout the community. Some of the sales will be taking place will be at the Elks, the annual craft sale from 8 until 1, Senior Place, and also at the Eagles Club. And the annual Charity Bazaar will be held tomorrow from 8:30 until 1:30 at the Steele County Community Center. There'll be lunch selections consisting of homemade soups, sloppy joes, and homemade pies, and there's also a complimentary cup of hot cider which will be available. And then coming up next week will be a beer tasting event to benefit the Homestead Hospice House at the Holiday Inn, with proceeds going to their patient care fund. And coming up, the farmers market is going to continue, but inside from now on, not down at the park, and that will be beginning on November 10th. It will be held at the Owatonna Eagles Club from 9 until noon. So if you'd like more information, you can phone 507-475-0573. So that is the announcements we have for today. Go out and enjoy the weekend and take in all the events going on around the area. And we'll be back on Monday. So thanks for joining us. I'm Betty Johnson.